Welcome to our exploration of the mysterious alchemy that brings all things into harmony. Join us now in our Temple of Alchemy. Well, we have an order of alchemy in the Fellowship of Isis, but there is a spiritual temple that we can visualize. The 3 seeds within the lotus tells us to change the outcome, look within. To change your outer happenings, look within yourself. So we imagine a hill, and we imagine Mount Leinster, wherever we like, and a temple. The priest of alchemy addresses the twin apprentices, Aidan and Elaine, the alchemical twins. The 9th portal of Sagittarius offers the culmination of past efforts, rebirth. We give birth, and also ourselves are reborn. So we need humility to face the end of all our endeavors in order to accept what is new. To do so we need the peaceful serenity of the goddess Parvati. The priestess alchemist in flowing golden and blue robes raises her lotus wand. I invoke thee, Holy Lady of the Lotus of Immortality, who, despite all outer tumult, remains seated in trance by the lotus pool, surveying thy own reflection in the rippling waters. Consort of the god Shiva, who is creator, preserver, destroyer, be with us now at this time of the death and rebirth of the aeon. Now I want you to imagine one of our priestesses, or one of your own, in trance, in flowing orange and gold robes, seated by a pool. We have our well, visualize this, and we await the oracle. In your dreaming is your awakening. All that you regard as real shows itself as a delusion, shimmering in a pool of desires. What you have achieved becomes as dust, as passing generations tread your creations to drifting sands. Therefore, look for divine reality, not in the passing play you create to satisfy your longings, but rather remain still. And all that you hope for will come to you easily, joyfully. A mother suffers pain in giving birth, and yet is filled with the joy of the Creator when she holds her newborn baby lovingly in her arms. So it is with the deities when you yourselves are reborn and look up at them and smile. Be still, and you will cause greater rivers to flow, bringing abundance to all. Play a small tune on a flute, and you cause mighty trees to grow upon green hills. For all the world you see around you is created by thought, imagination, and the passions. Find your minds, your dreams, your passions within the divine life hidden in your hearts. This is the jewel concealed within the heart of my Lord. Om Mani Padme Hum. The priest alchemist says, thanks are given to the goddess Parvati for her oracle. The priestess alchemist, Elaine, we know how ardently you strive to help humans and animals. yet you feel frustrated because by nature you are an artist and love to be alone, seated under a tree. Now I know that the way of the flower is to sit under a tree and through this to extend into the tree, spreading into the land, the earth, the cosmos. Thus your hopes are fulfilled for yourself. But you may not force others to accept your way. They tread their own pilgrimage and do not respond to coercion, however well meant. Will you undergo the initiation of the Lotus? Elaine looks a bit guilty. I never can understand why people object to our giving them schools and aid and modern amenities. Oh, how like a schoolmistress I sound. I better undergo this initiation. I will understand why international aid is not always received with due gratitude. Priestess Alchemist shows Elaine a card from the Marseille deck. Describe this tarot card. Elaine looks at it. I suppose this is correct, as the tarot cards derive from India. Ah, the ninth gate of change. This is l'ermite, the hermit. It shows a bearded pilgrim holding aloft a lantern. His left hand holds a staff. This is my pilgrim's way. The priestess alchemist, so be it. You will enter trance. We will be with you, but may not help you. Join Elaine in her adventure if you like. I mount the hill of the zodiac, pondering on the various meanings people have given to the stars. Is our choice of names and division into 12 signs arbitrary, or were we guided? I enter the temple of the zodiac, and I pay my respects to the central altar of Vesta, of the vestal flames in all that is. It's so beautiful, I'm beginning to forget all my thoughts and wonders. I look around and find my way to the portal of Sagittarius, the ninth portal. It depicts the archer, around half man, half horse, but in a new way. It looks as if the man is struggling to escape from his body, as if he doesn't want the body of a horse. He's on the left. On the other side of the portal is shown a young girl standing upon a mountain and beckoning the man to dangerous heights as she waves a flag, a white flag. She is safe. She has wings. I part the heavy tapestry curtains of the portal and wonder what I'm going to find at the other side. How beautiful! I'm in a pastoral landscape with small primitive-looking huts and walls. I see a small gateway of rough stones and feel that this is where I must go. But before I reach it, an old woman approaches me, extending a thin hand. She wears a threadbare sari. Although she speaks in a foreign tongue, I can understand what she says. She tells me she needs my help now. She is a poor widow who's been turned out of her home because her dowry has proved worthless to base coinage. Unless I help now, she feels she will die of hunger. I feel my pockets, I've nothing. I tell her that I'm going on pilgrimage to Parvati's pool, and she'll return with help. Reluctantly, I leave her and pass through the gateway. I find myself in a field with cattle grazing, and I pass two more small gates as the ground is beginning to rise. At the third gateway, a young woman rushes towards me. She implores my help. Her tale is as old as the hills and as new. She's wearing a beautiful gold sari and lovely ornaments. But, she says, all her ornaments are in vain. Her husband has fallen in love with her enemy, a sly courtesan. She wants me to poison her rival, a fate that should befall all cunning courtesans. I'm taken aback. She gathers that I'm a priestess, but apparently she thinks my goddess is Kali. I reply that there must be a less deadly solution. I'm making pilgrimage to Parvati's pool, and will return with help. I beg her not to kill her rival in the interval. I will hurry, and I do. I follow the grassy winding path as it becomes more rough, with sheep rather than cattle grazing. At the 6th gate a small boy is seated crying. He looks poor and hungry. I sit down and try to understand what he's saying. I gather he's the illegitimate offspring of a large family and of low caste. He is consistently ill-treated, especially by the other children, who beat him and call him ugly names. He would like to drown himself in the fast-flowing stream that runs down the hill. I command him with a mother's voice not to drown himself. I'm making pilgrimage to Parvati's pool and will return and bring him all that he needs. Trust me. I dry his eyes and once more set forth. By this time I'm very weary, but travel on and upwards, and as the hill rises I see a lovely landscape of pale blue mountains, some snow-capped and others rich with forests. A river is still rushing downwards to where I'd begun my journey. I could follow it homewards, but of course I don't. And I reach the 9th gate. This portal is of the most elegant ironwork, between very high crenulated white walls leading to some great estate. I cannot push aside the huge gates as they are too heavy. But concealed by bushes is a small gateway with a wooden door, and this I can enter, bowing my head. I find myself in the most beautiful garden, laid out with flowering trees and rich grasses. What I like is that deer are roaming under the trees, and in open flowery spaces are various young animals. I look up, and am hit with an apple, hey, expertly thrown by a monkey. The music of birdsong is on every side, especially the cooing of doves. I approach a pool drawn from a double waterfall. Can this be Parvati's pool? I'm awestruck. And from the trees appears a very tall man with wild long white hair, slanting eyes, full mouth indented at the corners. I know at once he is an immortal. He has the strangest eyes like moonstones and a calm gaze. He speaks to me. I've learned not to drop on my knees, but to listen with care. My dear daughter, all your life you've been making this pilgrimage. Now is the time of culmination. I am he who was, and is, and shall be, creator, preserver, destroyer. My dance is of the cosmic stars, and the time has come when the matrix of my encircling wheel will open upon worlds as yet unknown. Gaze now into the lotus in this holy pool of Parvati, my consort, and you will enter my wheel and attain what you seek. But listen well, you will gain only 3 seeds of the flower of life that gives 3 wishes. You may give these to others if you wish. Be careful how you choose. All the fairy tales I've always loved are now coming true. The god has vanished in golden light, and I find myself leaning over the pool and gazing into the golden heart of a white-petaled lotus. The flower becomes larger and larger, and within it is a giant black hole. I find myself falling into it, down and down. I feel I'm becoming smaller and smaller. I'm dizzy, and I clutch at a great golden rod. On it hang 3 great golden spheres. I take them to me and push them into my pockets. I rapidly ascend, once more my own normal size. And the lotus is not a giant vortex at all, but a simple flower. And I have its 3 seeds. I have chosen my 3 wishes: peace, love, and happiness. Joyfully I make my way swiftly down the hill. At the 6th gate I find the little boy and give him a seed, his wish. I'm so glad. At once, he declares he wants revenge on his brothers and to be adopted by an important family with a lot of money. I know this will happen now. I don't think he's a very nice character, wanting revenge. Well, I suppose it's understandable. I hope I've done good. At the 3rd gate I find a beautiful, wronged wife. She accepts my seed eagerly. She says she has now no need to kill her rival, because with her wish her husband will die, according to her wishes, leaving her all his fortune. This is going to happen. What a dreadful woman. What can I do about it? I've given her heart's desire, but what's the desire? Oh dear. At the 1st gate I found the starving old widow, and by now expect her to choose something horrible to hurt her family. Much is my surprise and relief when she says now she can have riches which she can share with her family. She forgives them with all her heart. Why? Because she loves them. Suddenly I burst out laughing. I've spent all my wishes, and I don't mind. And then I hear the words of the god Shiva coming to me as from a mountain top. Elaine, you are now peaceful, loving, and happy because you have found your own hidden self. Once more, we are in the temple of alchemy, and we always seem to have exciting initiations with Aiden. And I'm thinking about transformation. To achieve the whole is to become each part. Priest alchemist in his beautiful robes approaches Aiden and Elaine. The cosmos is composed of myriad individual beings. To achieve awareness of this, we need to invoke the goddess Kali. The priestess alchemist in deep indigo robes raises her serpent wand. Come among us, Kali of the 4 arms that are the sacred 4 elements. Bring us thy divine dance of life that is ever renewing itself through love and joy and passion. You, who even trampled upon your divine consort Shiva, Lord of passing time, bring us eternal life. But there's a silence, and suddenly we see a woman, and she's seated in our dungeon, all in black, flowing robes in the cave of the mothers, and we are awestruck. To attain immortality, you need to love life, not with wisdom, nor virtue alone, but with all your heart and soul. The ever-living flame glows as strongly in one snake shedding its skin as it does in a mighty god. Every atom pulsates with life. When humans attain their true mission on this earth, eternal life will be achieved because deeply desired. Eternity is not in time. It is ever now. The true task of humanity is to act as interpreters between gods and men, goddesses and women, nature spirits and all living creatures. Invoke therefore each one of you your own guardian Deva or Devi, your angel, your animal friend, and unite spirit and matter by your participation in both. So will earth show herself in her true eternal being, perceiving the earth, awaits your transforming touch. Call on me, and I shall instruct you in your dreams, dramas. The dancing Gandharvas and Upsaras will come to you, and the souls of your own earthly friends, along with bird, animal, reptile, insect, awaken into what you are and why you are on earth. Priest alchemist, we give thanks to the goddess Kali for her oracle. Priestess alchemist addresses Aidan. Aidan, you long to know what the effect shall be of all your passionate work for a better earth. Yet you fear that all conservation projects may be brought to naught. Are you willing to face the shape of things to come? Aidan says, I'm willing. Otherwise, why do we work so hard and yet face a ruined planet? Priest alchemist, therefore, you must face the initiation of Kali. She shows him cards on the Marcel deck. Examine this card. What do you make of it, Aidan? Just what reflects my mood of despondency. Le diable, the devil. This is rather a nice, funny devil, medieval. It depicts a hermaphroditic figure, I note, along with cloven hooves, woman's breasts. Horns form the crown chakra. His wings are bat-like, but he has them. But tied to his throne by the neck are two smiling imps, also bisexual, content to be bound. So this devil binds people who like it. Nonetheless, I want freedom to move, to grow. I won't be bound. Priest alchemist, you are ready for the ordeal of Kali. Enter trance. We shall stay with you whatever happens, but not help you. I expected you to say that. But I'm ready for the ordeal. He lies down, enter trance, and we join him. I climbed a hill with some trepidation, knowing Kali's reputation. If she can make mincemeat of her husband, Shiva himself, what will she do to me? Here I am at the Temple of the Zodiac. I could turn back, but I won't. I pay my respects to Vesta's flame. Then I find the ninth portal of Sagittarius. It's much as Elaine describes, except that the centaur seems to enjoy his dual self and is aiming his arrow to reach the stars. I'm suspicious of the little girl waving me upwards and onwards with a white feather. If I fall, it won't help her, but it'll be the end of me. I pass through the portal. I find myself in a wild landscape with gorse and bracken. I hear the howling wolves, just what I would expect, like a Dracula movie. But wait, a friendly wolf approaches me, and I'm not afraid. Why? It is ridiculous that he's talking to me. At least I can understand him. He tells me the wolves are having problems with landslides. Could I place the pack's complaints to the local spirit of the earth? I'm astonished. I didn't know there was such a being. I vaguely remember Irish leprechauns, there's gnomes, children's fairy stories. I hear a cool voice speak quite distinctly, and I look round. I see the most extraordinary creature made of some ethereal energy. He is about 3 feet tall and is weirdly thin, like a reed. But what is bizarre is his hair. It hangs down in a very thin plait, nearly reaching his feet. I suppose this is the latest elf fashion. To my embarrassment, the creature answers my thought. No, a few thousand years old. We are bringing it through now to a human poet we like. I find the being has a very clear, logical mind. I explain the wolf's predicament, and he grasps the situation. He says that he did not care to interfere with the Earth's crust, but they will look into the matter and try to shift the problem elsewhere. I thank him profusely and convey his message to my friend the wolf. The wolf is relieved. He tells me they find it hard to get nature spirits' attention. Their language is so high and remote. I'm beginning to feel in good heart. I've done something. People always like giving other people directions when they ask the way. But what happens next is completely surreal. I see a small suburban house, well and good, but gazing into the house's second-floor window is an enormous bird like an eagle. about 15 feet tall. This is not possible, I think. Oh, yes, it is, replies the bird. Remember the countryman on seeing a giraffe in the zoo? That's not no such creature. I'm here. I'm a bird. I'm peering through this window to greet the owner. All that you get wrong is the date. This is your Earth's future. I sit on the grass weakly. What can I do for you? I ask. You seem capable of anything. Not everything, replies the eagle, fixing me with a brilliant beady eye. We are having trouble with tornadoes in these parts. They are reaching up to 60,000 feet. We can't get hold of the Upsaras, angels you call them. Too distant a vibration. Would you lodge our complaint? The tornadoes are endangering our mating season. Oh, I'm beginning to get the hang of all this. I'm being educated through a weird story, because it can't be true. Oh, but it is, comes the silvery voice. To my amazement and awe, an exquisitely lovely angel is floating before me with far-reaching wings. Her golden hair is floating in a hurricane. People have always seen us angels, except for a short while in the past, when humans got entrapped by their own mechanical inventions. It's your time, isn't it? What is your prayer? Funny, I feel vaguely sulky at having to pray to some angel, however glamorous. It's not my request, it's the eagles. Your tornadoes are endangering their mating season. The angel replied, we do not care to disturb air currents to bring monsoons, but we grant your prayer. We will withhold the tornadoes for the specified season. She vanishes in a blinding flash of light as swiftly as she had appeared. The eagle said he could see angels, but found it hard to converse. He thanked me. I feel useful. I'd made intercession at the throne of grace. I'd received grace. Medieval. Very odd. Not so odd, says a voice. I might have expected this, but it still makes me jump. What I see is a lizard, a peaceful iguana attached to a tree, where it clearly remains for hours in peace and quiet. No longer peace and quiet, says the iguana. I'm glad you passed by. The earth is trembling. There's a volcano destroying our part of this forest. You know Pele. Would you care to ask for her help? To my disappointment, I do not see the goddess Pele. What I do see is what I do not believe in. No one does. The phoenix, sole Arabian bird that is reborn from its own fire, is seated far too near me, preening its feathers in the smell of burning. You can't always expect beautiful humans, it said. Stop calling me it. I'm she. Why shouldn't beings have bodies of pure energy? I do. Humans knew this for thousands of years, and are doing so again after the short period when they were in denial, imprisoned in physical matter and grey cellular thought, or what they call thought. Anyway, now you're here from that time. What do you want? You needn't pray. Just speak distinctly. Suddenly light dawns. I know what all this is, I cry. It's a story made up by the new indigo star children. Correct, says the phoenix, but do you know why they do this? They do it because we are real, as real as humans. What do you want of me? Nobody loves peace and quiet more than reptiles, I say. They are a wise, moderate race, especially iguanas. These earthquakes are disturbing their peaceful wood. Is that all, explains the phoenix. That is easily altered. We don't move our volcano, we move the reptiles. Dedicated human wildlife workers in this period will move them to another habitat tomorrow. Thanks for mentioning it. And she dives into her nest, and the iguana goes off to sleep again. I'm feeling so sleepy. I shut my eyes. I doze off and awaken to the sound of splashing. I find myself on a seashore, and a baby seal is flapping by me. Don't tell me, I say, you are a seal woman in disguise. Wrong, says the seal. All seals can talk, though not as much as women. We say what we have to say. Listen, we are sick and tired of tsunamis. We somehow cannot get into touch with the heavenly dragon of the Eastern Ocean to stop them. Can you try? Oh, I'm willing to believe anything now, I say. After all, dinosaurs are a sort of dragon. No, they aren't, says a sharp feminine voice. I turn and see a mermaid. Well, a sort of mermaid. She is greenish and has scales. Her eyes are red-rimmed and she has gills. For once I'm not in danger of falling in love. You're not so attractive yourself, she says. A sort of jumped-up chimpanzee without their pathos. Know that I'm Lung Nu, third daughter of the Dragon King, friend of Kuan Yin. What is your supplication? I explain the seal's fear of tsunamis as they have their cubs among the rocks. Suddenly, there is an amazing transformation. The fish girl is transforming into a mighty dragon across the sky and the ocean, made of living jade. I hear the voice of the dragon like rushing waves. Henceforth I shall issue a warning to all these coastal creatures when I send a tsunami. Also humans will be warned, so all will reach safety in the hills. She slowly fades into the sky and becomes mingled with the stars. She changes into the phoenix, the angel, the elf in rainbow colours, and I become part of her as a human. Yes, I'm an individual as each one of them. So this is our future Earth. It is here, awaiting us in the eternal night.